friend Keith from SoundsGood Auto, president. Good morning to everybody, Keith.
I'm not a puppet. I'll just go, hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Okay, well, I'm glad you're not a puppet. Puppet. By the way, everybody, my wife is a speech pathologist. Obviously, she has a full time uh, with me. But so, Keith, we had a chance. We talk quite a bit, everybody, and Keith, he runs 3 stores, plus he has auto detailing business. So I don't know how many employees has, but he has a few, and that what we want to talk about is about our employees, how to inspire, how to motivate, things that you as a leader can do to keep your employees.
That's rather poignant today because I just lost one.
Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
so do you mind sharing with us, Keith? And
Oh no, it's I was up visiting my store. It's like a pretty far drive from here, and the employee was saying that he was having some issues with his supervisor, and so I went to go address them, but I couldn't find any reality in the situation. So I I let it go because I have cameras and I have other people there that tell me things, and so I investigated and
uh-huh.
couldn't find any proof of what the allegations were. So there was nothing else I could do, and so that same day when I was driving home, he sent me his resignation. So I thought, oh, this is kind of weird. So I need to investigate some more. And I looked and I looked and I looked because I have all these cameras everywhere, and I couldn't find any negligible issues. So I just I talked to some friends about the pain I was going through in my head because when it's like losing a valuable employee, it's painful and it's frustrating and it's confusing and it's downright angering sometimes.
You getting angry?
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
feels like, how dare you?
Right.
You're messing up the team. Um, but clearly, he had other motivation to do whatever he was doing, and I heard he's got a pretty good job not too far from where he lives,
Hmm.
and so that's the end of that. But what I learned was when I could let go of the anger and the resentment and the frustration and the fear, it closed that door. And then another one opened. And ironically, or maybe God motivated, I'm not sure, maybe both. I got a phone call from a guy looking for a job.
What I found out is through adversity, it'll take you where you're supposed to go. But if we don't have our heart right, it's going to take us longer to get there.
Right. And that's why I have great leaders in my life because I can't do this alone.
Well, I learned nothing that will be significant will ever be done by one person. And everybody out there, I got to be honest with you. I try to do all this by myself, and it's just not the same. I mean, I have to have iron sharpens iron. Birds of the feather flock together. I want to fly with eagles. I don't want to eat the buzzards leftover, or the eagles leftover and hang out with the buzzards. I guess I should say.
I know you.
I got to wake up.
Whoa, coffee time.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is what you said. You said, you thought about it and everything, and immediately I wanted to add, I didn't want to cut you off, but experience is never going to be our best teacher. It's always going to be evaluated experience is going to be our best teacher.
Well,
And if we make a mistake, the only way it really costs us the whole thing is if we don't learn from it. And we need to learn from our mistakes. And I prefer my saying, and I've said it a few times, that a smart man learns from mistakes, smarter learns from others, but a genius learns from other people's successes. So we went through this, right, Keith? And now what do you we're doing these leadership golden trainings for everybody or sessions, whatever you want to call it. But, when we talk and you and I, have that one-on-one time together to talk, my number one goal is to make you better.
Mhm.
And there's everybody out there, they need to understand there's two types of criticism in this world, although I try not to criticize anybody unless I'm forced to. But there's one that tear you down, and then there's the other to build you up. And my responsibility is, and I'm getting, getting older, so the filters are getting less and less, is sometimes I'll just get right to the point. And some people, they'll take it, and it's like you see them get hit. But sometimes you need to wake them up. And us as leaders, we need to understand is what we tolerate or what we complain about is what we tolerate. So with this new employee, Keith, what do you think that you might want to consider, so you don't have to go through this again?
My job is always is to manage expectations. So from the beginning, this is how it is. This is what we expect. This is what we offer. And I put it on paper and I have them sign it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't like what they're going to sign, then I need them to change the words so that it works for both of us. So to me, a contract is an agreement between you and I, giving us the best of both worlds, maybe some compromise on each side, but the outcome is acceptable to each of us. And each contract has a consequence. So if I don't pay you on time or I short pay you, then the consequence is you get to come to me and say, hey, where's my money? And I have to be accountable for anything I say or do. So legally, I'm supposed to pay you X amount of dollars every period that's I'm supposed to pay by. But conversely, my expectation of you is to show up on time, don't be drunk, simple things seem like simple things.
Right.
Um, don't
It,
steal from me,
yeah.
including time, because my time is what I'm paying you for. Um, and the expectation is that you do the best job possible. And I'll pay you well for it. And there's bonuses and there's all kinds of cool perks and stuff that go along with it. But if you can't do what I need you to do, then the consequences may be that you may be looking for other work. And
Yeah.
that's a tough thing to say in the beginning of a conversation when you first meet somebody.
But see, you got to get it out on the table, because if you don't get it out on the table, if you don't set your expectations and they don't know what it is, more importantly, if they don't understand what it is,
Hmm.
and I shared with you, 42. What's 42? I tell them, I show them, they show me, we drill for skill. And then I ask them to repeat back to me what I want, which is the 2. Now, if they say it, exactly how I want it, then I don't have to go to number 2. I just said, okay, great, we're on the same page. Let's move forward. If they don't understand what's expected of them, before a job or something like that, then I have to go over, I got to tell them, I got to show them, have them show me again, and drill for skill. So I was at this facility the other day, and this young lady was doing a seat cover ski, and she couldn't get the clamp off. And so the owner came over, and he did it right in front of her. And I go, okay, now let's put it back together and have her do it. And then I looked at her, I go, you got this now, don't you? And I just grinned at her. She goes, oh yeah. And I go, so any other vehicle, you just take your little screwdriver in there, you pop it out, and you're set. And the look that I wanted to inspire her. You know what? You got this. You can do this, and you can do this every time. Because see, back to the time thing. If he would have been busy, it would have took more time. She would have just been standing there. But for now on, she knows this is how we do it.
Hmm.
But I had to show him hands on. Hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Can you show me what you did? But most people, they just go, well, I'm just going to show you how to do it, and then I expect you to get it. And if they don't get it, then frustration comes in. Then time is everything. You hear the saying, time is money. No, time is everything. And if we don't do this and we don't respect them, appreciate, I teach Ravi, Keith, respect, appreciate, value everyone, everywhere, every day, because leadership's not done in a day, it's done daily. So everywhere I go, I want to make people's lives, I want them to feel good about, for example, we went to a restaurant last night. Hey, it's sure good to see you. Just give a big smile. And then, she's serving our food. I go, I'm so happy we got you as a waitress.
Mhm.
And,
Nice.
but then if you do it all the time, then it becomes natural because we have to be genuine. Because if we come off fake or phony, especially with our employees, they're going to go,
Mhm. Words only go so far.
yeah.
Actions speak way louder.
hmm So there's 5 ways to appreciate people. Number 1 is quality time. Quality time is I'm not, talking to you, Keith, and I'm doing this on my cell phone.
Mhm.
uh, Quality time is not quantity, but quality. The second one is positive affirmation. But what I like to share, Keith, is I say, you know what, Keith, I really thank you for doing this with me. Or I go into deeper details. You know what, Keith? I love the fact that you are who you are. You're real, and people want to see real. And you know what? You're such a blessing to me to help me. I just really appreciate you. Thank you. Now,
Thanks.
both of them, but if we go into detail, man, alive, Keith, did you see the look on that client's car when they picked it up? I go, man, amazing. Keep it up. I'm going to get phone calls from them, after this, but it's not to fix stuff. They got us because they want more stuff. Thank you.
And their kids and their friends and neighbors and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because,
the whole idea.
exactly. And then those people are more likely to write a 5-star review. So let's see. So we went for quality time, positive affirmation, acts of service. Now, Keith, what acts of service is, if you see somebody struggling, as a leader, we can step in just like the young lady that, we wanted to pull the clip off so she could replace the seat. If we would have walked up and said, you know, you haven't got this yet, we just devalued them instead of adding value. The other thing is, Keith, is if I'm going to help you with a project, I want to make sure you got it down a year or two a spot that I can leave you and you're okay with me leaving you.
Yeah. We're always creating a win-win.
Exactly.
Always the goal.
So the other one is, let's see. So we got this one. We got quality time, positive affirmation, acts of service, gifts. Now, gifts, you're going to have to think a little bit more because, I'm just, I mean, I wasn't a technician, but I was an owner. And, the Snap-on or the Mac tool truck comes up, and the guys want to go out there. And I tell my drivers, they got 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And if you go past the 15 minutes, you don't get to come here no more. Because otherwise, they're out there forever and I'm paying them to be on the truck. No, I don't think so. But anyway, back to gifts is that if I buy you a tool off that truck, because I want to bless you, it could be taken as he only buys me this so I can make him more money.
Oh, is that like buying your wife a broom for Christmas?
Or like my wife buys me cooking stuff for Christmas, but that's what I want because that's what I enjoy to do. But
Yeah.
exactly. And so you
Maggie got really
nailed it.
upset one year when I bought her something like that. Ooh, it was not good.
Yeah, it doesn't go over very well.
No.
And see the same thing. So we have to have a relationship with our guys. So let's say, for example, they like to go to the movies and they've done a good job. I would walk up if gifts, something that you want to do for them. I go, hey, is there any new movies coming out? I'd buy them 2 tickets. The other thing I would do, Keith, is if they had a bad week,
Like the whole week was bad?
or just a couple of days in a week, or Sometimes it'd be the whole week, because if we were working on a big project, it would take, sometimes those take a week. And if
Mhm.
things don't go well, say it's a brand new, 2024, and you're working on it, and nobody out there has any information on it, but your guy's trying to plug away. I would actually walk up and I would say, you know what? We got it done. I could tell that it was a challenge for you. And I know it took longer than we expected, but I appreciate the effort. I'm going to give you some money. I want you to take out your partner. I want a receipt, and I don't want any alcohol on the receipt.
What kind of gift is that?
Well, here's why. They go out, they get hammered, they get a DUI, and now they can't come to work. And I'm not going to pay them to get in trouble. And
Yeah.
what happened, Keith, is on the backside of that is, if we had to work overtime, I always have them call their partner and say, hey, is this okay? And because of those times that I basically sponsored a dinner, they always supported them staying. Oh, whatever Dell needs. I'm like, I'm the best guy ever. And the thing about it is, unfortunately, with most leaders, the only time their employees hear from them is when they've done something wrong. Now, so we talked about quality time. We talked about, acts of service. We talked about, oh, don't tell me. I should have wrote this down. Quality time, acts of service, positive affirmation, gifts. The last one is touch. Now, we have to be careful with this, but high five, knuckles, man, I've actually been in shops before where we just, duh, duh, duh. 1, 3, everybody, I want you to yell, sounds good. 1, 2, 3, and everybody, sounds good.
Sounds good.
And what happens is it built morale, because you know what, you guys are winners.
Mhm.
You know what, we're not playing games here. We're not, we are on a time limit, but it's not to the second. And you know what, you guys, see, when we go into detail, they're not going to get treated like this anywhere else. That's one of the goals right there.
Mhm.
So if they go, if they're thinking, well, the grass is greener on the other side, and they go to the other side, they find out, it ain't so green.
No. Green apple splatters.
So these things, 5 things: quality time, acts of services,
Gifts.
gifts. What's the 4th one? Positive affirmation, and then touch. And listen, everybody's different. Sometimes, positive affirmation, some people get embarrassed if you do it in front of other people,
Mhm.
and so what's that?
It's uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable, but behind the scenes you go, hey, listen, man, you really did. See, because we have to know our people. We have to find out, as a leader, we have to find out what makes them tick. And my responsibility is, while everybody else is running their business, my business is to learn how to become more successful from more successful people than me, and then share that knowledge with people, out there. And that's why we do what we do. And that's why I love what we do.
That's the meaning of leadership. When I can
Right.
take people and bring them up to my level, and then I can go learn some other things to go to a different level, and then go back to my people and bring them up higher. That's the only goal I have in life, really.
Yeah.
This
And,
way, they could do my job and I can go do something else.
And a lot of people in leadership, they want to play king of the hill. I believe we talked about this, and what that is, I'm the boss, I'm the manager, I'm this, I'm that, and I don't want to give you the skills to take my position, because I lose my position. However, the problem with that is especially if you own your facility and something happens to you and you don't have leadership in place, then what? The whole place goes downhill.
Yes.
So we don't want that, do we?
We don't need that.
Especially with you, you're driving, you got to drive, 5 hours to one facility. I don't remember how far it was from one to another, but I'm thinking it's at least an hour, hour and a half.
No, it's 25 minutes.
25 minutes. So that's not too bad, but still, You're driving there. You don't want to be, looking at your cameras the whole time.
No, that's called micromanaging, and it never works.
It never works. And if we don't trust our people, then what happens is there's no trust before us.
Mhm.
We talked about this. Remember the other day, Keith? I said, we we asked for 5 things that our people want to do to make our business better, and then we asked the why. Now they can either put their name on it or they can, go anonymous. And
Mhm.
Keith, what's the problem with anonymous?
There's no teeth to it. I mean, so I could take it two ways. So if I throw in a comment like the boss is a jerk, right? It could mean something, it could mean nothing. It's hard to say. It's got no real teeth to it. And the other hand is I can say anything I want because it's like leaving a Google review, right? You just never know. Is the guy just pissed off with the service, or is he pissed off with the product, or is he pissed off with himself for buying the wrong thing? Anonymous could do a lot of different things.
Well, in leadership, if they put anonymous when you ask them that tells me there's no trust. And trust is the foundation of leadership. So there's all kinds of things. But when I ask them to put it anonymous, the other thing, when I ask them the 5 and they turn it, they don't turn it in, I go, why don't you turn it in? I've actually had guys go, it doesn't help anyway, so why waste my time? Now, let's talk about that for a minute, okay, Keith? So, because when I see them say that to me, there's actually hurt in their heart.
Well, yeah.
And then what happens is, well, if the boss doesn't give a crap, why should I?
Time for a new job. Either for the
Exactly.
employee or for the boss or both.
Yeah, and it's probably more. I the last time I checked, and I haven't checked, but it's like a $1 billion cost a year to Canada. Well, $1 billion cost a year to the United States to find somebody,
Hmm.
uh, train that person, and then make sure. And then if we lose them, we have to start the process all over again. And what's interesting is 12% of the people that leave you will leave you because of money. 88% will leave you because of other things, party leadership being on the top.
Yes.
Although 86 of all owners or managers or leaders think it's because of money, but it's only 12%. So I say it like this: let's blame everybody but ourselves, Keith.
I love the blame game.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
goes so
that guy,
far in life.
and what I learned, and what I love what you said when we first got started. You know what? We have to set the expectation out there. But the other thing is we have to hold each other accountable. And I'll give you an example of that. The client would come in and say, well, the other store said they couldn't do this. And I go, well, let me ask my guy. And I asked my guy, and I go, oh yeah, I could do that, no problem. And the guy goes, well, is he sure? I go, listen, why would he say he could do something when he couldn't? Because if he can't do it, you're going to be mad at him and more, but you're going to come and want to yell at me. And listen, I have that much confidence in my guy, that I know if he says he can do it, he can do it. What the other store should have said is they can't do it instead of it can't be done.
Yeah. Setting confidence is it's always a thing.
I used to have a saying, Keith, and you'll love this one. I don't know if I've ever shared it with you before, but I'm confident if we throw enough money at something, we could get it done.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually use that one too. It's like you can do anything as long as you have enough money.
Right. So questions for me, sir.
Okay. So I didn't call you when I was in that um, debacle. I called a different leader, somebody who I just really wanted to vent, and he was available. So I called, and he's kind of a spiritual guy as well, much like yourself. He guided me to God, and to ask the question of God, what's the best thing to do? No, when I get questions like that asked, then I can't be angry when I'm in question mode. If I'm curious about something, it's difficult to be angry at the same time. And so it got me out of the anger. Right. And so once I got to that part, I was like, okay. So then he said, when one door closes, another one opens. So why don't you just go ahead and let this one close? And I have found some acceptance in that. And
Absolutely.
that leadership really drew me to a place of internal peace, because I'm not sure if, well, of course, you know what it's like to lose an important employee. It's crushing. It can take a lot of fear and confusion and anger and all these different emotions, and really mess up the day, and take precedence over what's going to happen in the day. And you, of course, can't think of anything else at the time. And so once I got past that, then I got to the place where I could take the next phone call, which was a guy named Art said, "Hey, I'm looking for work, and I think you'd be a good boss." It's like, yeah, yeah, this is going to work
You
out.
must have had some really bad bosses. But see, the thing about it is you made an interesting point, is because if we can't get past that, right? And this is going on in the back of our head, and we're waiting on a customer, or we have another employee that has issues, and the whole time we got this on the back of our mind, it makes us really counterproductive.
Hmm.
And as a boss, hey, you're going to have people come, you're going to have people go, but you know what? In another sense, I was taught turnover is good, because then it keeps things, growing, fresh and growing.
Yeah. And this other employee had left. I wish him well. Like, I don't hate him. I just was kind of confused on why, but it doesn't even matter. So my next job is to nurture him into getting past the leaving the store and going on to the next place, and hopefully we can do some things in the future.
Yeah, because you never know. Sometimes they take the grass is greener on the other side, but when they get there, uh, it's not.
Yeah,
So
but that part doesn't even matter in my mind. The reason I want to nurture him into the next level of what he's doing is because that's who I am. I want to
right.
lead no matter what. My goal is not a self-centered goal. It's a life goal. My job here on in this planet is to lead people, whether it's into my realm of doing things or theirs. It doesn't really matter.
So, the thing about it is, we've talked about, putting together a series of videos and stuff like that. And my thing is people go, well, how are you going to protect your videos? After somebody buys it, I'm not going to try and protect my videos. What I'm going to share with people is, hey, if you know somebody that hurts, or you feel like they need help, give it to them.
Hmm.
Give it to them. Because I'm not going to go through all this headache and hassle to try to protect myself, because there's always a way around it. And why go there? Why not just say, you know what, I'm here to help people. I want to bless people. I want to see people's lives better.
Hmm.
My Napoleon Hill says, write out your major purpose in life. And my major purpose in life is to be passionate about walking in love and to develop men and women to become as successful as possible, both in business and life. Because if it ain't right at home, baby, it ain't going to be right at work. And it ain't right at work, it ain't going to be right at home.
That's a valiant standard that you have. Thank you.
Well, I have a new lease on life. We'll go into that another time. Anyway, everybody, I do have a contest. If you'd like to spend a one-on-one time with me, share this post, have tag 3 people under it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Email me at DELELLIS. I'm sorry, DEL, like the computer, but one L, HELP us@gmail.com. Send me your information, and you'll be entered into the contest. But I guarantee you spend an hour with me and you'll get to pick the topic. I will do everything I can to make you come out on the other side way better than when you went in. Mr. Keith, any last comments, sir?
It's true. That's everything I've always seen out of you, Dell. It's just you're looking for a win-win, and you're looking to see how you can help. How can you go wrong?
Well, you know, anyway, you're making me blush, man. I want
Good.
to I want to thank everybody for viewing this video. And like I said, you know, share it, put tag 3 friends, especially somebody that, hey man, or maybe you should have your boss watch it. But I just, I want to say thank you to my good friend Keith. We'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Thanks, Del. Be well.
Good. But thank you, sir. Bye-bye.